now streaming to your YouTube Live Alex Aquarius Q&A, blah, blah, blah. Click here to open a browser to view the stream. Remember to mute the stream to avoid audio loop. Tools. Let's see if I've got a plug-in I can put in here. My plug-in store. Oh. My goodness. It's kind of cumbersome. But shoot, if I started that other one, I have to mute it. Come on. You love it. So, if you're watching, please be patient. So, evidently, I don't know how to run this. I have two plugins I can put in my broadcaster. The YouTube live chat viewer, or I have a live chat viewer to connect to YouTube live video, view the chat. You can also customize the chat display colors, fonts, and text size. So I don't know. What if I turned off my camera on my broadcaster? Will it get rid of that tunnel? My computer's slow. This is going to be a difficult thing to do as ever live with you people. You people. I'm sorry, I just said you people. With people who come to visit. Welcome to live chat. One watching now. Hello. I do have one watching now. Thank you for coming. We're live. Please say something. Let me chat. I finally pulled up my chat screen. Hello. What would you like to talk about? Let's start the show. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. If you've watched my videos, you know what I put up lately. I put up videos about banking, about relationships, Venezuela, some news, a lot of different topics. I cover a lot of different topics now because I try to stay broad and not hit as deep as I used to. You know, YouTube is changing, and a lot of the topics that they allow people to cover are changing. Let me make sure I've got my camera on my broadcaster. Hold on, I'm going to turn that back on. Hopefully I don't get that tunnel view again. There we go. Yay! Okay, so let's go look. Show you this page. Hold on, I want to show you my... I'm having an extremely hard time getting my computer to speed up. Let's change the resolution. All right, now, come on, it's a little bit slow. The mundane means worldly. It's an adverb. You know, words that end with ly are adverbs, right? So mundane can mean worldly. The worldly plane, or the plain mundane show. But to a lot of people, it just sounds like I cover a lot of broad, boring topics because it's plain mundane. That's what the initial response is. But there's actually a hidden meaning in there, and it's deep. So today, what are we going to talk about? What's been going on with my YouTube? Let's go back and look. Pesticide on your, some glyphosate pesticide on your channel business card, and I had to look it up. It came out, you know. I like to read articles and topics. I just purely read topics. I don't like to go over news articles or news events or current events. I just tell them, hey, man, there's no way you could have known. That's just the way they operate. It's the Messiah, son of Mary. It talks about Mary and her son, Jesus the Messiah, in the Quran, where Muhammad wrote in the chapter of the table. And I found this my collection, and my father had these, and I always wanted these, and I got them. I inherited them. Evidently, we've lost that technology, and it's a paper process to get it back. Got one in here about the Club of Rome. Weed construction with hempcrete, that was limited. Money laundering, why is it? It's monetization is on, it's public visibility, and it shows it live. That's the show that I'm on right now, and it's working. Yay! First time I've ever done that. Looked on that screen to see it live and working. Let's go back to uploads. These are my normal videos, not the lives, but just my productions. Okay, now, if you look at the total number of views, my last video I put up, Is Your Money Safe in a Bank, on August 4th, has 21 views. Now remember, I've got videos with 34, 35,000 views, almost 40,000. That's about my highest. And many, many videos over 1,000. And I get all of these. I can go all the way down this page. This is 30 videos. There's only 114 views, and that's a video about a one world religion and how the Pope signs a papal order or some kind of document. What do you call it? An interfaith covenant was signed to have one world religion. Well, whoop-de, don't we know? Okay, see how my medical cannabis video got flagged for limited? This not suitable for all advertisers, so they're not going to let you run ads on that one for everybody. I have a video in here where I interviewed my mother about our alien fifth kind encounter that we both are starting to remember now in our front yard in 1971, where they were outside of my window. I wouldn't go out there with them unless my mother was with me, so they went and got my mother. Then I saw my mother out there, and then I went out there, and she came and got me. And we're starting to all remember this in peace, and we're finishing each other's sentences and filling in the details, and she's describing what was, I thought, a dream. Now, I uploaded this on May 31st of 2019. Okay? June, July. This is 2 months ago. 2 months and a week. We're looking at 9 weeks ago. See that where it says 93 views? I've had those same 93 views for about 6.5, 7 weeks now. It hasn't moved. The first week, I think I picked up 93 views, and it really started to take off. And the likes has 5 likes. You know, my overall channel average is 91.1% likes of and I have over 325 videos, I think. My channel average of likes is 91.1%, which from what I hear is extremely high for even a really good channel. I mean, I'm above 90% likes on average for everything I've ever produced and uploaded here. And here's a video. I think it's because it's about an alien fifth kind encounter aboard the craft, possibly even flew away. We're trying to remember when we each might have taken a flight with them, together or separately. Either way, I think that's a fifth kind encounter. We might even go to sixth or seventh kind encounter. I don't think we bred with them or created anything or performed any experiments, but driving to NASA's Sonny Carter, that's the Neutral Buoyancy Lab. I drove there from Johnson Space Center just to show you what it was like, what the building looks like, and where it is in relation to the Ellington Air Force Base and the field where Neil allegedly crashed the lunar lander when he was testing it, which they never landed, by the way, successfully before they went to the moon. Look at this. 57 views. Dr. Ewan Cameron with the mind control, what did he call it? The mind patterning experiments. And I actually know someone related to him that I worked with in brain research, because I come from brain research and part of my job. Toroid current steering, which is where I learned toroid current steering, which was in the nervous system. And I talk about anodes and cathodes. That's only got 44 views. Why would you upload a video that's scientific about current steering and electromagnetic fields within tissue or fluids, with anodes and cathodes, and it's only got 44 views since May 19th? Okay. I uploaded the one about the Pope on May 10th, and it's got 114 views. The survey finds medical cannabis, whatever, that's got 37 views. Antarctic mystery, why is there melting ice? And these, what do the Russians call it? There's a word, I can't remember the word. It's a Russian word that means when you have a spot of water that's melted in the center of ice and it just sits there melted because of heat coming up from below or whatever, without all the rest of it melting, it's called a pocket of water in Russian. 40 views. Inactivated B-level immunity through shots, because I worked on that also in my career. 41 views since May 8th. 100% likes with 3 likes. These are little numbers, folks. Earth, it's not a dome, it's an active toroid. I learned that through current steering electricity through bodies to manage chronic pain, movement disorders, and depression. We had leads that would go through the cranium three-dimensionally to the subthalamic nucleus in the bottom of your brain. That's where you control depression. And to find movement disorders, all you need to do is map the brain and color code it and find the frequencies that are misfiring. And you just go in there and you put in an anode and you cathode the ring and you override that frequency. And you can have people that have a tremor that they can't get their hand like this, that's all withered and it shakes. And let's say people that have one side of their body, at the tremor, you turn that electrode on and it just stops. And they go, wow, it's gone. You can literally just turn it off now. That's called neuromodulation. I put up videos about neuromodulation and I have less than 100 views. My visit to Dracula's cemetery. Bitches. I was in Romania visiting farms, selling vaccines with my manager, and we're driving down the highway. We're arriving back in Bucharest, and he goes, we're talking about, it was late in the evening, and we're talking about wives and cooking dinner and raising kids and whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, oh, wait, let me interrupt you. He goes, by the way, he goes, that's Dracula's cemetery right there. See that building right there, that mausoleum? He's buried in that. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? I said, you could have warned me that we were coming up on that. I would have, what, can we go in there? And he's like, oh, I don't know. It's too late, I think. And I was like, not every day you're driving down the highway and your sales manager says, by the way, Dracula's buried right there. That's that story. 49 views. My visit to Dracula's cemetery. So what is happening with the views on YouTube? Now let's go back and see what our live chat. Exactly like my mother. I do. I'm a spitting image of my mother. If you see my mother, where did you see her in the Alien Fifth Kind video? Yeah, UAP and I had an interesting live show together. We should do another one. He was disappointed. I feel bad that I got with him on that project because now, what happened was he was saying in his live chat when we talked that this is bad. He goes, I never get numbers this low. I don't know what's happened. And I think somehow I tainted his channel because I may have more of a shadow ban or something on mine or more of a filter than he does because he's got a lot more views and his subscribers are growing really fast. But mine, and he even said right when we were doing it, these numbers are nothing. This is bad. And I think altogether out of, you would hope you get subscribers from collaborating like with UAP. And we've helped each other on some previous videos. We first started chatting maybe a year and a half ago. I was making some space shuttle video that he found. And things happen. I saw a good documentary on the Thunderbolts project about instant fossilization of biological material from electrocution. Velikovsky was on the right track. Instant fossilization of biological material from electrocution. I don't know about that. Thunderbolts project? But isn't a fossil like the filler that fills in the space where the dead biomaterial was, the cadaver? And then it fills in with sediment. So the fossil is actually stone or sand or rock. It's not actually biomaterial. Like you can't get DNA from a fossil. Am I wrong? But so David Wayne Choate, thank you for coming. I see your comments on a lot of my videos, and I know you follow a lot of what I do, and thank you for that. You provide a lot of good comments. As small as I'm going here with all my little limited numbers, I ask, I've sent feedback to YouTube and I've said, look, don't you find it odd that out of my last 29 to 30 videos, I have only more than 100 views on one when I used to have thousands of views a day? What has happened? But it's not just me. It's everybody's complaining about it. It's happening to everyone. But if you've noticed, I'm getting a sickened feeling in my gut. It's like a nauseating feeling when sometimes I'll lay in bed in the morning or at night when I get my day going, and I'll get up. You ever just lay in bed and you watch YouTube? That's what I do because I don't watch TV. It'd be like getting up and turning on the TV to see the news. I just get up and what do you end up watching these days? For me, I end up watching like cars and cameras and people that weld go-karts and dry comedy and Comedy Central. This is not happening, which I won't watch anymore. It's disgusting. They were having homosexual sex on the intro of this Comedy Central show. And I couldn't believe it. And the guy's right there walking down the stairs introducing the show coming up. And they get these celebrities to go on there, well-known people like Schumer or Drew Carey, and they say, they tell some nasty, horrible story about their life. Well, this is actually the story of my life where I got caught shooting heroin and I was addicted to meth and did this nasty thing. And they're otherwise a great celebrity, not great in my mind, but people who are celebrities, and you would not know anything about this. Is almost like shaming, like ritual shaming, but it's being promoted and pushed on Comedy Central, and I don't understand why YouTube carries it. YouTube is just becoming another television set. It's like everything that's on cable is going to end up in YouTube, and everything that was about YouTube is not going to be there anymore. It's going to be TV tube or program tube. It's no more you in the YouTube. That's disappointing. And what else do you see? I see a lot of news articles, or that guy I don't watch, Smarter Every Day comes up. It's just a shame. People doing crazy things. It's either it's a show about a TV show. TV shows they want you to stream, they want you to get the YouTube Prime, they want you to try it all out, and they want you to start watching programs that you got away from television and came to YouTube to get away from, to change your lifestyle for what you view as entertainment, and they're having you go right back. So, I mean, you can talk about what you don't like with what's getting banned or what's getting limited, but at the same time, you notice it's becoming programming again. Like I said, it's taking the you out of YouTube and they're putting the program in. So now it's just programming. And I don't like it. And let me look on my phone right here. I'll show you. If I go to, let's see, love YouTube, go to home, push my home button. Can you see that? I see like I'm seeing more videos about PewDiePie or the bass, Davey 504, the bass player. I've got Revenge Body by Kim Kardashian. Now, how does that come up in my stream that I want to watch anything about Kim Kardashian about a revenge body? I don't give a crap about that female. Massive immigration raids. There's top news, CBS News, Democratic candidate Joe Biden, Creepy Joe, Daily Mail, Hannity and de Blasio. Trump launches insults at Castro. All the big announcements. Danny Trejo rescues trap, blah, blah, blah. Aaron Rodgers, sports. Danny Trejo, father accuses fertility. All of your mainstream media and your Mockingbird stuff all lined up there. Then you're going to have Dozens charged in $45 million in drugs seized in massive Toronto area organized crime bust. How to make remote controlled model airplanes like this Circle plane. And these people that I've been watching a lot of building like Flight Fest and things like that, and people that weld go-kart. Have you seen all those coming up? Or Joe Rogan, who I don't watch. You can tell everybody who's sworn in to support the programming is who they're promoting on here. And these are all things I don't want to watch. These are why I came to YouTube. So I can watch Joe Rogan, which I won't. Jim Carrey once battled an audience for 2 hours, you know. So I don't want to watch anything on an evening talk show with Jim Carrey. Speed trap versus 500 plus. A cop speed trap versus 500 plus Honda. So motorcyclists pulling off stunts on the freeway. You know, those ones that swarm you and almost cause accidents everywhere they go and get killed all the time. I don't want to watch that. 100-year-old self-playing violin, the eighth wonder of the world. Who asked for that? Is that related to anything I've ever searched for? No. What else do they want me to watch? Now, this is on my homepage for my Samsung Android that supposedly got everything I've ever done in here, knows what I like, when I wake up, when I go to the bathroom, when I sleep, and what I want to watch. And it's force-feeding me stuff that's programmed that I don't want to watch. Okay, I play guitar and I watch a lot of music videos, so I get, for some reason lately, all these girls that are these drummers and musicians that make all their own music, doing covers. Why Neil Armstrong bounced an X-15 off the atmosphere and ended up over LA. Why do I need to see a video about how Neil Armstrong flew an X-15? I'm not looking for that. Okay, now here's Comedy Central about David Spade. I like David Spade, actually, but he's also just kind of gone off the edge. There's really nothing to listen to when you hear their humor. I think comedy is dead. If I listen to comedians, I think it's just dead. Let me go check out the chat for a second. Boop-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Hold on. I'm on my broadcaster page. I don't watch Joe Rogan, no. No, you know when I quit watching Joe Rogan was when he had Alex Jones on there. And Alex Jones wore his NASA shirt and they had Eddie Bravo in there. And every time Eddie even opened his mouth, Alex Jones was acting like he was going to be able to kick his ass. And Joe's just there to referee the whole thing and parlay it all into a show. You know, you can tell the way Joe went 180 about the moon landings and everything he was so adamant about. I mean, come on, you know it. I can't watch him anymore. I can't watch it. Been building RC planes 40 years. I would love to be building RC planes if I had more time. Hey, like I said, Joe Rogan, he's got... How many of you listen to Alex Jones anymore? I mean, Joe Rogan's just the new Alex Jones. He's the approved disinfo agent. That's why, look at who he's interviewing. Now he has Bob Lazar on there. Bob Lazar is telling the truth, by the way. I know some things. He's got Neil deGrasse Tyson on there, Bill Nye, these politicians and celebrities. You know, all of the people that would belong to the groups that I don't want to belong to are who he has on his show. I mean, how friendly do you have to be with someone to be invited to their wedding that belongs to the Church of Satan, who actually started it? You know, that's why I don't listen to Rogan. Be the change you want to see. Charlie, Nigel Gilmore, Charlie Balding. Thank you for being here, guys. I pay the $10 a month for YouTube Premium, no commercials, and it doesn't refer me to the videos I don't like. Really? Maybe I need to upgrade. Maybe I need to upgrade to YouTube Premium, and that's the problem. I stopped watching Rogan when he started kissing Neil deGrasse Tyson. You know, your comment just got held for review. I have to click show on there because you said Neil deGrasse Tyson's ass. Google are programming your mind. Yes, they are. Am I ignoring my fans, Nigel? Let's see. I just went on a rant with my video list, but now I'm looking at the chat. That's right. Basically, David, when Rogan started kissing Neil deGrasse's, uh, I can't say that because you guys are drinking for it. When he started having him on the show, anytime you see people that come from Gaia, just put it that way, anybody from Gaia, from the UFO conferences, people like Childress, remember Stanton Friedman, all of those types, Neil deGrasse, Bill Nye. Um, you know, you're just getting a story, or any astronaut. You know, how about these masterclass commercials now that are running where you see like Chris Hadfield? You know, oh, I try to skip that one as quick as I can every time. I just cannot watch it. Who is Pudman, Charlie? Pudman, Pudman? Let me show you something else here on this channel viewer of how many views it's gotten and how they've fallen in the last time period. Oops, not that one. My heaven visit. Now watch this. I'm going to go down to my near-death experience, which I think is my most viewed. There we go. That's strange. I had the right. I think my screens are crossing over. Okay. My near-death experience, drowned 1+ hours, spirit dimension, water passing through me. This video has 97 views in the last 20. Real-time activity, it's got 4 views in the last 48 hours. Its average of likes is, it's got 88.8% like, which is actually less than my channel average, which is 91.1. And my traffic comes from suggested videos. 2 of them of the last 4 came from suggested videos. 1 view came from browsing. Somebody must have just looked up my near-death experience. And another 25% came from YouTube search. So I think when it's YouTube search, it's directly in the box field on YouTube. If it's browse features, it could be in Google or anywhere. So let me show you. If I go up here where it says last 28 days, and I click on that, and I say since uploaded, lifetime, and I'm going to show you the screen where it will show you what it's done. But yeah, you know, I hear a lot of people saying that Bob Lazar is not telling the truth. He has an interview that he did on Rogan, and I watched it just because I think Bob Lazar is telling the truth. It's the only reason I watched that Rogan episode. But with what I know, what I've seen, let me tell you 3 reasons why I think. Is there another way to do the number 3? How about that? There are 3 reasons why I believe the aliens exist and Bob Lazar is telling the truth. Number 1 is my own 5th kind encounter with my mother in the front yard in 1971, which we both remember now, that I always thought was a dream until I mentioned to my mother and told her about my dream. Number 2 is in 1992, I was in New Jersey, and my bishop at church, who was in the Roswell Army Air Force in July, around July 8th and 9th, at the crash site. He was an MP, and he was on the site, and he actually cleaned up the aliens. And when he got there, the rumor was there was one that was taken alive, and it was already gone. And that's the one allegedly they took, I think, first to Fort Worth or Weatherford, Texas, or White Settlement, Texas, which is near Fort Worth area. And then it went to Patterson, Wright-Patterson in Ohio. The third reason is because I actually know someone personally who is on MJ12 that I've worked with, who was a board member of a company I worked for that I've been in meetings with, who gave me assignments and things like that. Right after he came out of the White House, and he was defense secretary in the early 90s. And then he became the vice president of the United States a few years later. I knew he was going to be vice president of the United States before he was, because one day I asked my boss, I said, how come Dick came and worked at our company, after the White House? Why does he want to work in a vaccine company? And he said, well, he didn't even answer my question. He just said, they say he's going to be the next vice president. And I looked at him, I laughed. I said, how would anybody know that? And he just looked sternly at me and he said, you don't know who you're working for, do you? And I remember just thinking, I said, no, I guess I don't. But I didn't really think about it then like I do now. This was in 1993. It's about probably 93 or 94. No, it was 1992 or 93. Gosh, 25 years ago. I think the Earth is a lot bigger than they tell us. That's true, David. If you think about it, if the Earth's not flat, with the measurements that we're doing, when you measure the curvature, and you're supposed to see 8 inches per mile drop, which the first mile will be 8 inches, the second mile will be 32 inches, and it only in your first quadrant. Once you pass 90 degrees, you go into the second quadrant where y is negative and x is positive. The third quadrant is where x and y are both negative, and the fourth quadrant is where x is negative and y is positive. You know what I mean? Algebra quadrant. It's where your quadratic equations come from. You can only do 1/4 of all that when you calculate going around the Earth. But if we're not getting the curvature, or we're seeing the Statue of Liberty 3 times what it should be in distance, then maybe the Earth is just way, way, way bigger as a ball than they tell us. If it's a ball. It's just so big that none of our calculations can even get. But that wouldn't make sense, because then how could you fly around it and circumnavigate it in the number of hours that airplanes do? And the time of day, latitude is measured by minutes of the sun. It's exactly 24 hours around the planet. Except for that sidereal day. Look up what is it, -4 minutes on each day? Makes up one extra day after a year. And that's why the Earth's not facing outer space every 6 months, and then facing noon, facing the sun every 6 months. You've heard of the sidereal day, Sidereal. Real. Hola, señores que murieron un poco después de ver esta reina absoluta. ¿Quién es la reina absoluta? ¿De quién estás hablando, Morgan Cus? Y hola, señoras. ¿Cómo sabes que hay señores aquí? Puede ser puros salchichas. Que murieron un poco después de ver esta reina absoluta. ¿Quién es la reina absoluta? Medical psilocybin. I watch or listen a lot of Terrence. I love Terrence McKenna. I used to listen to his stuff all the time. I think he's the best storyteller. Yeah. 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 So, what else to talk about? I showed you my videos. I showed you my dismal view count. This is why I'm doing a live show. I might start doing this every morning. I won't drag it out into where I don't want you to click on my videos and see Alex went live and it's 2 hours long, or something. I like it when people look and you've been on for, say less than an hour, 45 minutes, 50 something minutes tops. Let's see how long it's been. I am going on 53 minutes already. Wow. But a lot of that was set up before a lot of you were here. But you'll see that if you're playing it back. So what else is interesting that we've talked about? I told you about how I got a community guideline strike for hate speech. It was called hate speech, but it wasn't. All I did was talk about who were the secret societies that were behind the founding and the organization and the movements within the German Labor Party in the 1930s, 20s and 30s, and where that society came from, and how their symbol became the flag of the country at that time. You have to be very careful not to ever say any of those words, because you'll get flagged. What else have I appealed? Just all the rest of the things that I've appealed so far have been where I've had my monetization limited, because according to the AI robot, it's not suitable. Now, there was a guy that interviewed Susan Wojcicki, CEO of YouTube, last week, and this young guy, and I can't even remember his name. It just popped up another one. See, there's another on my homepage video that just pops up as something, assuming that I want to see, that I don't, that I would not be hunting for. But it talks about where he interviews her, and he talks about the difficulties that creators are having with getting their views seen and monetized, and their views are dropping, and it's hard to create now, and a lot of people are leaving the platform, and people are deciding not to do this because for your time it's not paying off. And I'm almost at that point. I'm always hanging on by a thread, telling myself, no, just keep doing it, because the reason why is because I've got over 300 videos, and I've seen that videos that I made in a pretty good spurt there in 2017 that are about 2 years old now, they get views every day. And so it just takes a long time, I think, to sink into the algorithm. And the more activity you do, and the more constants you have, you have to have sustainability and regularity in your broadcasting. You have to come out with, if not a video every day, at least 4 a week is what I'm trying for right now. And I want to try to go live more. But I just now signed up for live super chat, and never got it running because I've had to try to fix my memory. I've repartitioned my drive, and I've tried to straighten out things in my laptop so that I can run all these programs at the same time. A lot of technical issues. I've got a new camera. I've got a better sound, I believe. If you listen to my videos from 2 years ago, it's actually the same microphone I've had. I just learned where to put it and how to adjust the mixer controls and the loudness and the gain and some other digital changes within the sound system that preamp what I was doing, that were making my sound blah 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 blah, and it was chopping, and the sound was bit mapping, if that's what you call it. It was buffering. But anyway, I've been putting out a lot more videos. I'm trying to do more. It's not growing like I would like it to, but I think one day I'm going to have something that hits very viral, or all of these just start to sink into the algorithm better. And I hope all of this programming that they're putting in our face starts to die out, Or at least, I don't think it will, though. But there's got to be a way that they soften up the algorithm so that YouTube is still, it's about you. And it's not about the programming from Mockingbird, So, all right. So I think that's about all I have to talk about today. This, again, I just set up my live chat. I'm learning how to stream. And thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. I am set up for Super Chat, so if anybody would ever like to contribute and support so that I can get a better laptop and some better sound, eventually I'd like to get a gimbal. Just some simple things that I've got already. I've already got a nice, I use this, I have a Nikon P500. I bought this thing at a pawn shop. You can buy a brand new camera and all that stuff. I go to the pawn shop. I got the bag, the stand, everything. I can use this, and I even built my own Zedcat, my sound muffler on top. And I go to the shore around ships, and I shoot with this thing, and it's great. But I've got a 36 times zoom, and it's not enough because I've got the P500. I need at least a 900 or the 1000, But then I would need a gimbal. If I'm going to do more of these videos where I go for a walk when I'm exercising, I'd like to do this in the morning. Maybe I could even live stream as I walk in the morning and talk to my subs that way, but I need a gimbal because I don't want to have it bouncing around, That's the only things I would buy in equipment, is maybe a microphone and a gimbal and a camera. Eventually a GPU and a different computer. That's all. So thank you for coming to Plain Mundane Show, and I appreciate both of you being here and staying until the end. Love you guys, and be sure and watch for when I post live again. I might try to do it every day with some regularity now, as much as I upload videos a few times a week. So please stay tuned, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you, and bye. Peace out.